I've always just been a big advocate as far as, whether it was in my family or, whatever it was. I was writing family newspapers around the house about storms that were coming and, what the stocks were. And I was always interested in putting the news out there and, just having a voice. So I felt like with this book, I was doing a lot of speaking and going to different events and talking to kids and stuff. And I felt like, why not put it in, a small book format that they can throw in their purse or they can put in their back pocket. They can take it on the bus. And it has all the information like protecting yourselves against, STDs and all of the STD statistics and rates. It has information on healthy dieting and healthy exercise. It has poems and poetry and all the things that, teens need to know and that they may not want to talk about to their friends or to their peers or even to their parents. So, it's not only for the teens, it's for the parents as well. You can pick it up and you can read the statistics about teen pregnancy and teen HIV and AIDS, how they get it. And it's a lot of great information, and I felt that, teens and parents needed to know about it. My parents were contacted by Betty Jones, who was working with Metro Teen AIDS and the Center for Disease Control, and they said, we want you to come to D.C. and we want you to speak to the kids, and we would really love if you were the, ambassador for our company and, our business. So we went to D.C. and I got to go to the Metro Teen AIDS building, and I was sitting there and I'm talking to all these kids and these adults and teenagers and, and then they were like, okay, and he has AIDS and she has AIDS. And it was just it took me by storm because it's like I never in my life would have expected people that look just like myself. This virus and this epidemic has no face. And it can be babies, it can be adults, it can be old people. It really, it's so vast that it's scary, and I knew right then, I was like, I have to take this on, as part of my life's purpose, and I have to put the word out there about this. So while I was in D.C., we went to speak at the big, event, and the mayor of D.C. came and they gave me a proclamation and, a key to the city, and they said, we would like you to be the United States Youth Ambassador. We think what you're doing is amazing, and, you're a very positive influence on the youth, and we would love if you would consider it. And, of course, right off the bat, I was like, yes, of course. So with that, that's how the book came along pretty much, was that, all that I was learning, 6,000 youth a day are diagnosed with HIV. That's like 3 high schools, 4 or 5 middle schools. So the numbers and the statistics were so alarming. And I had known about HIV and AIDS. I mean, everybody does, but you don't really understand how serious it is until you see the numbers and you see the statistics and you see someone who has it or someone who has it. It definitely, affects the lives. I have had a friend, and her mother had it, and she ended up passing away, but it definitely affected me in a way that made me want to speak out about it, because it's education is key, and I feel like knowledge is power, and that's why I did the Knowledge is Power PSA, with all of the statistics. And a lot of times it's easy for people to look over such an epidemic because it's just like HIV, we know it's a virus, but if you really educate yourself about it, you'll see that it's serious and you need to protect yourself, because a moment of pleasure can cause a lifetime of pain. I'm very surprised, and I have to say that I didn't know much about it, so I can't go, on record saying, oh, yes, I've been this advocate all my life. I knew about it, but I didn't educate myself about it, and I just figured it was just another virus, another silent killer, and that was all. But once I started seeing the numbers, I was just like, this is wow, and then I started asking my friends, what do you know about HIV? What do you know about AIDS? And the things that they were saying were so, you can contract it from kissing, and you can get it this way, and, you can't get it from so-and-so. And I'm just like, no, I need you guys to sit down with me and let me tell you the real deal. I just think that the level of respect, in a relationship, it has to be there. And if you get ready to talk to your partner or your significant other about, this virus and, they take offense to it or they don't want to hear it, then it's not that time, or maybe, that's not the person that you need to be with, because it is a killer. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. They think that you can just live with this virus and you can just take medication and it won't go away, and you'll have it for the rest of your life. And before you know it, if you don't stay on top of it and keep taking your medications, everything around you will begin to deteriorate. So I think that just, trying to speak to them, how you start that conversation is dependent on how your relationship is, how long you've known that person. You might bring it up lightly over lunch, or you might want to sit down and have a serious conversation. It really depends on how old you are, how much you care for that person, how long you've been together. But no matter the age, no matter the race, the color, whatever, the conversation definitely needs to be had, because HIV has no face. The Real Teens of Hollywood, I've known the creator, Lisa Kovacs, for a while, and she came to me and, asked me about it, and I like the idea of it, getting to showcase how hard it really is to, as some say, make it in Hollywood, and whether it be someone trying to make it for the fame, or someone trying to make it for the money, or someone just trying to make it because that's what they love to do. That's what Real Teens of Hollywood embodies, and that's what it showcases. We have H. Wood, who is he's a very inspiring story. His mother was, birthed him in prison, and he's just had a lot of struggles. We have Lisa Kovacs, who, is an inspiring actress. We have Chelsea Gabrielle and, Austin Anderson from Nickelodeon's Victorious, Brian McKnight Jr., who's Brian McKnight's son, and we also have Ice Merrill Jr., who's Ice-T's son. So it's a lot of different dynamic characters on the show, and I think that we all showcase different lifestyles. Some may be privileged and some may not be, but we all come together and we all stand on one common ground, and that is, earning the respect of the industry and those that look up to it, and, ultimately making a name and building a legacy.